Hi guys, hope we are all okay. It is a beautiful day that again we are meeting for this beautiful session of ours. Kenyans, we are celebrating Labor Day. So happy Labor Day for those who normally, for all of us who normally work smart, of course, to achieve our goals and dreams. Happy Labor Day for all of us. Today, I want us to have a conversation, a very interesting one, about finance and technology. That's the conversation that basically I want us to have today, finance and technology. And majority of the topics that we'll be discussing in this segment of ours, ideally they are based on the entrepreneurs and CEOs breakfast. Actually, we had this breakfast at Kempinski. That was last weekend. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, and I really do appreciate. I never knew that majority of us who normally tend to see us on YouTube basically would have attended that CEO's breakfast. It was a wonderful event, and I really thank you guys for basically taking your time and also using your resources to attend this seminar. So in this seminar of ours, there are some things that actually personally I learned, which I never knew that they existed at some point, or if we knew, majority of us normally tend to ignore them a lot. And you'll find that there are small things that will always make a difference in our lives, right? Saying that, in this breakfast of ours, which we had it at Kempinski, that was last weekend, we had a lot of presenters like Queen Mother, that is of course Professor King was in the house. We had other guests, including of course Optiven. Thank you so much, guys, for attending. We also had of course Sonia, the first MP nominated MP, the first nominated MP of Indian descent. She was also in the house. We had Ian Dennis, of course, the head of innovation, Standard Media. Thank you so much, Ian, for coming. We had so many guests, actually, probably which I won't mention by name, and also all those who attended. So in this case, we had some various topics which we discussed, including aspect to do with actually this was post-COVID. I learned that, of course, I knew that there were data which were existing, that data protection law which was existing, but there was a lawyer whom kind of, she really actually gave us the breakdown of how this law is very delicate, and there are things that we normally tend to do thinking that is basically normal, but ideally they're always very risky at some point, right? Because like when you're talking of basically data protection law, of course this was brought in relation to technology, right? This was brought in relation to, that was of course post COVID-19. Have you ever known that, say for example, you are in an area, maybe we've gone somewhere that is maybe I'm at say I'm having a lunch there at Sarova, or maybe I'm having a lunch at Kempinski, or maybe I'm having a lunch maybe somewhere along Moi Avenue or anywhere. And in this case, maybe you just decide to take a photo of yourself, right? And on the background, you'll find that it's going to pick some several faces. So because basically you want to post this on social media, you just decide, go and post this on social media. Do you know, like, the person will appear on that image of yours in that case, and you hadn't seek her or his consent, this person can sue you. Do you know that? Because yes, you're posting it for fun on social media, but ideally this person who will appear in this photo of yours, and you've posted that photo on any social media without the consent of that person, do you know that actually this person can sue you? Actually, let me just look at some of these notes, and I'll give you specific articles that she was talking about. These are some of actually they are kind of they are so wide. These notes are actually, there are so many things that literally we really need to improve on. We really need to think about the same. So basically, this is aspect to do with just trying to finding the same. Yeah, the Data Protection Act. So you'll find that in this case, there are so many. He gave us various cases, which I want to mention these companies, but ideally they are facing these. Actually, it was a case, and at some point they ended up paying that person. I know you guys are laughing. Assuming, imagine this point, maybe I'm somewhere operating my phone. I won't mention any phone. Maybe I'm somewhere operating a phone. Then the company, say company X, come and takes a very nice picture of me without my knowledge, me operating this phone of theirs, right? I'm having their brand beside or maybe on the back of my phone. Then what this company will do, this company will go and basically post that picture on their social media without my consent. Yeah, I can sue that company and I will be compensated. Data protection law. So it will be very interesting if you guys find time, go deeper into that data protection law, and you'll find that there are so many things that you normally tend to do in ignorance, but literally they can affect as more so businesses in one or the other, right? So it is always advisable that at any given point you do this, you should always tend to seek basically aspect of consent to the person who has appeared, of course, in these videos or photos of ours. That was interesting. A conversation for another day, right? I believe you also learned something. So then talk about basically finance and technology. Of course, I'm a finance guy and also a techpreneur in relation to the same. So in this regard, you'll also note that we normally tend to talk about our personal finances, right? Have you asked yourself, how is technology, or how has technology affected you with your personal finances in terms of anything relating to personal finance? Because recall, when we are talking of personal finance, these are some of the things that will always be there, of course, at any given point in time. I'm just looking at this, what basically we got from, of course, all these seminars. You'll find that literally when we are talking of personal finance, you guys should always know this, that first of all, we're having aspect of budget, right? You must always create your budget. Literally, you'll find that making a list of your income and expenses and use, of course, it to create basically your budget. This will literally help you to manage your finances in one or the other. Then, of course, I know some of these things, all of us, you're familiar to them. Number two, talk about maybe live within your means. Comparing, of course, what you're earning and the level of lifestyle that you've set is also very key. At this point, of course, we should always not tend to compare, of course, ourselves and probably my neighbor. Maybe I want to live the lifestyle of my neighbor without knowing what he or she is doing, right? That is also another important tool when you're talking about personal finance. Literally, I'm going to create another video talking about personal finance later on as we proceed. Then you're also having about basically, of course, paying off our debts. You're having save for emergency and talk about invest for the future. All these are elements that I know all of us all of us at least we've heard of them somewhere. But what about how has technology basically affected our personal finance? Where do we normally tend to spend more? I know at this point probably you have your internet service provider, mentioning names. I know I'm marketing them in a way. Talk about Zuku, Safaricom, JTL, all these companies that normally provide our internets within our homes and offices, right? So, like we can't hide on the same. These are literally technology. You're having your bundles, which at times majority of us we are kind of talk about we are savvy when it comes to consumption of bundles, right? So in this case, if I may ask you guys, have you ever tried to sit down, because it's where at times you normally go probably astray or rather away from our budget? Have you ever asked yourself, how much do you spend in your bundles on a monthly basis or rather on a weekly basis? And the question is, on this expenditure, had you planned for this expenditure? Right? This remind me, I think there was an article actually that I saw some times back, that was I think last week. Then we had this kind of a photo basically describing I'm having a monkey on top of the tree, and very like 2 to 3 monkeys, right? Then there was a there was a field, right? Talk about shamba somewhere there. You know, like these farmers normally tend to put scarecrows, right, on their fields. So the monkey was like, one of the monkey was talking to the other monkey, and they were like, we can't go there, hatuwezi enda kuchuna mahindi there, right? And the reason was like, why? Sunaona kuna mtu pale. Then the other third monkey was like, if this is not a person, the monkey was like, huyu si mtu. Kwa nini unasema huyu si mtu? Because hana simu. Literally try to interpret that. I know for those who have catch it up very easily, they can relate what I want to say. Like because he doesn't have a phone, therefore he's not a human being. This is just a scarecrow. Be there basically to just scare us, not to do what, not to consume, or rather maybe not to interfere with their fields. Literally, what does that speaks? Nowadays, at any given point in time, if you find a person, in this case, there's always, we have our smartphones, and actually they are almost like 70 to 80% of the population do have smartphones, right? You know, like these are tool, these are very powerful tool that you are holding basically in our hands without us knowing. It is a very, very powerful tool. Other than us using this tool, maybe spending a lot of time in social media, TikTok, Facebook, of course, we're having Instagram, and all these other social media platforms, right? Which you normally tend to spend a lot of time on the same. How do we, you know, like when you're talking about aspect of resource, time is also a resource. When I'm spending a lot of time on these gadgets, what is the opportunity cost attached to that time that I'm spending on that? There is, of course, an opportunity cost attached to that. You are foregoing a particular task that you should have done, taking your time on these gadgets. How will it affect you personally? How do you normally use these gadgets? For productivity, or literally for fun, or for social aspects? How will it basically affect you, and what is the opportunity cost attached to that time that you normally tend to spend in relation to basically these gadgets, right? A good question that we should ask ourselves, right? In this case, you find that at some point it's going to affect us directly, not really attached to finance directly, but basically it will affect me at some point. Remember, we are all talking about, these are basically personal finance, right? Not traditional way that you should expect Mwalimu talking about this and this and this and this. Literally, we're looking at these affecting us directly. You haven't gone even to companies or so. But these are some of the questions that we should always tend to ask ourselves. Like, literally, how will they affect us? Yeah? How will this affect us? So that's a question that you need to ask yourself. First of all, ask yourself, do you have a budget when it comes to the consumption, when it comes to consumption? That is, of course, data consumption. When it comes to bundle consumption, or when you're talking about internet consumption, do you normally have a budget for that, or you just spend on the same? And at what point will it affect our finances? A very interesting bit. Now, jumping back to this seminar of ours, we had a certain company, Food Advice, right? These guys have come up, actually they have a brilliant idea when it comes to matters to do with the food production, basically in Kenya, because they started in Kenya. I'm going to advise one of them to come for one of our segments and also explain it to us very, very well. So these guys, they have a technology whereby they literally assist young entrepreneurs who are coming up, right? To the point that from startup basically to an established business, they guide you. They might fund you basically on the startup that you do have, to basically come up with a way or coming up with a system which will literally make sure that there's a good food production within our economy. And the technology that they are using is a very simple but kind of, should I say simple, complicated? That can't work. It's a very simple and interesting technology that they are using, literally for food production. You find that these are some of the areas that, if at all, also if our government can take a chance and utilize such resources, I don't think we'll ever kind of ever again cry about food shortage in our country, because they have brilliant technology which literally, I'm very sure, give them like 2 to 3 years, they're going to kind of they kind of are going to change a lot of lives. Actually, I'm going to invite some of them. I'm going to invite actually the company in one of our segment one of these days, so that at least also us, we can learn, see how we can basically, if it is at all, linking up with them, or maybe collaborate with them in one or the other. But basically they have a good concept of fighting aspect to do with aspect of food shortages within our country. That is a plus, and definitely I am in support of what they are doing in relation to the same. So also let us think about it, and I'm going to share most of this, of course, in a whole different segment. Today is just a highlight of how basically this technology is changing literally the way we normally tend to operate. Then on this point also, on the same day actually, that was a Saturday, we launched this product which we have termed it as Mdarasa Pro. Mdarasa Pro is literally going to change the way guys are doing their studies, the way guys are literally earning the knowledge in Africa. The target market, as the target market is actually Africa. So Mdarasa Pro is a product in a way that we have you who want to share your knowledge, and you know that this knowledge can literally change someone's life in one or the other. Leave alone, you're used to Mdarasa basically for finance and accounts, but imagining a platform where you as a person, that knowledge that you're having, I know maybe you're watching us on YouTube, you might say that maybe, yes, I'm going to post this on YouTube. After I post this on YouTube, probably you are going to earn from views, but literally leave alone that. Here we have a platform whereby you as a person with your content, so long as it's an educational content, regardless it is which, it cuts it across organizations, it cuts it across professional, it cuts it across educational, it cuts it across technical areas, right? So you're having a knowledge you want to share to the public, and you want to monetize the same. Not monetizing by the views that you're going to earn, no, but putting it in a way like, I'm having a product now, this product of mine, I'm going to post it on Mdarasa Pro in your own account. You're going to set your own pricing. After you've set your own pricing, you're going to market that product on your own, and you're going to earn. You're going to earn on that product of yours, that video of yours, that content of yours that you posted. Imagine you're giving you literally the power to make limitless amount of cash that you can have by monetizing your content. Not only like just getting it on views or the ads that are going to run on the content, but literally in this case, these are first hand. You create your own pricing. Like say for example, today you're a CEO, or maybe you are an entrepreneur, right? You being an entrepreneur, you having a very brilliant knowledge and basically concept that you need to share with the public, right? And in this case, you wish to monetize this concept, you wish to monetize this knowledge. So what are you going to do? In this case, you post it on Mdarasa Pro, you set your own pricing, you share with whoever that you want to share, basically the public, so that they can subscribe literally to that content of yours. Remember, you're having an idea of how you can make or how you can start a specific business, and you want to monetize that. You can do that in Mdarasa Pro. In this case, you're having basically a very brilliant knowledge when it comes to marketing, right? You really need to share this knowledge. You don't have a platform. Now, guys, we've sorted you out. We have this Mdarasa Pro, which that's why I'm saying that literally is going to change everything. First of all, it's going to create employment to so many people. This is basically technology, and also you are increasing your finances in a way. It's going to change the way people are doing their studies. It's going to change the way people normally acquire their knowledge. Like today, if we sit down and just ask ourselves, how many unemployed teachers do we have? They have cleared their degree. They have not been registered with TSC, right? In this case, but they have very brilliant knowledge. They have very brilliant idea on basically what they can do in terms of when you're talking of basically in terms of providing the knowledge. So you as a teacher, if you are in high school, if you are a teacher of high school, primary, you can literally do your content. After you've done your content, what you need to do, you can post it on Mdarasa Pro. After you post it on Mdarasa Pro, you are going to set your own pricing. You are going to invite your students basically to come on your content, the one that you've created, and earn on that. So what you're going to do basically, we just share the revenue, and as it is now, it will be 80%, 20%. You as a lecturer, you earn 80% of the prices that you've set. Mdarasa Pro will retain the 20%. Imagine, guys, the power that we are giving you. The power in your hands. Changing lives at the same time, earning on changing lives. These are literally something that with the model that you have is something that I know is going to change a lot of lives. Is something that is going to create a lot of employment. This literally you're talking about, this is just technology. This is just technology. So it is high time that basically we adopt technology in our day-to-day activities. Talking of entrepreneurs, talking of CEOs, talking of the upcoming entrepreneurs, literally there's so much to utilize when it comes to technology. And that's why I asked also when I was giving my speech in that event, I know also you guys are affected. Like, how many of you knew Zoom before COVID? Just to be honest, that's a question that you can answer yourself. How many of you knew Zoom before COVID? I'm very sure probably it's less than 10% who knew Zoom before COVID, but it was there, right? But after COVID, you literally realize that a lot of things actually changed so fast. And having this Mdarasa Pro, as you are saying, is literally going to change the way people normally acquire knowledge, regardless of what knowledge you're acquiring across Africa. And that is our target. So also this is a product that we also launched actually in we also launched it on we had mentioned it on that CEO's breakfast. And now this is another product that also it was a very, very interesting product, right? So it is in one of our companies, which we also shared but to the public. Then that was the first time that actually we are sharing it to the public. There's this product that is known as Make Connect. Make Connect. Make Connect is literally an app where it is connecting mechanics and car owners. In a sense, like say for example, you are driving along Thika Road, you're driving along Mombasa Road, or you're driving somewhere in Nakuru or somewhere in Naivasha there, then you're stuck. You don't know what is happening with your car. Your mechanic is very far. what do you need to do? You need to have Make Connect. Once you have Make Connect, it will search a mechanic who is around that area, and you'll be connected, and this mechanic will come and sort that issue in your car. Yeah, and in that case you continue with your journey. Imagine you're in a situation, maybe you're driving from Mombasa, or maybe from Kisumu, then you are stuck in an area where you don't know, maybe in the middle of nowhere, right? In this case, you're like, now what am I going to do? Your mechanic is in Nairobi, or your mechanic is somewhere so far. You are literally stranded. You don't know what you're going to do. So basically, Make Connect has sorted that issue. Make Connect has sorted that issue. So these are some of the revolutionary products that we're talking about, which will literally make our life much simpler. And again, these products basically will also help us to earn, because you'll find, like in this case, it's like we are creating basically a platform for mechanics to earn their money wherever they are. You don't need to go and sit there at the garage waiting for probably cars to come, but literally we are bringing these cars to you. We are bringing these cars to you in a sense that you can be sorted out wherever you are. So these are some of the revolutionary products actually that we had them at our CEOs and entrepreneurs breakfast. I've literally talked about the products that we had, though, and also some of the speakers who talked about revolutionary products. So at this point, this topic is quite wide. I know we need to have another segment for this, which we're going to talk about basically finance and technology. How is finance? How can we use basically technology also to increase our wealth, right? And as they always say, your network is your net worth, right? So always, you can always reach out to Mwalimu. You can always talk about basically how we can use technology. If you're having an idea that you think can always generate income on our end, we can always on your end, and or rather that can literally change lives, you can always link up and see how we can work out about that idea. So that was about finance technology, which we'll have to set basically another session for this. We'll have to basically set another session for this. Yeah, so talking about that, at this point, maybe before I forget, I also want to take this chance to literally invite now students who are preparing for August exams. You can literally join us, but I'm going to do that another video for the same just after this. So you can reach us out for those who wish to start studying in advance to prepare for their August exams. I'm talking about CASNEB. You can always reach us out on the number that we provided on the screen. I believe that number is there. Literally, you can see that number here, right? Just below this video, you can see the number. We can always reach out and talk about how we can make your studies very much interesting and fun. To this point, I'll share more about this on the next segment, which such videos about, there's John, you had asked me that question, if at all I can be producing not per se real life, but basically current issues video and how they are affecting us. Yes, we have another channel, which is Ari Lead and Associates TV. On this case, basically, that is also where we'll be conducting these interviews of engaging various CEOs, various business leaders on how they think technology is going to affect finance and accounting and literally our day-to-day activities. Yeah. So at that point, thank you so much, guys. Let us meet in the next session. I was your instructor, CPR Ringo Frederick. Thank you.